Through the exposure to characters in pop culture is where many of us find our self-identity as well as examples of how we should view the world. When a program depicts white men being leaders of a successful corporation while their wives bake pie at home and a group of angry thugs of color roam the streets below, that tells us a lot of things. It tells us that men ought to be the moneymakers in charge, that women belong at home, that people of color are violent criminals, and that anyone with a sexual orientation other than straight simply doesn't exist. If every depiction of a specific minority is negative, then we begin to think everyone in real life who fits in that minority is also negative. This causes us to be scared when a black man walks by us, or dehumanize a transgender person, or belittle a woman's opinions. A lack of positive exposure leads to fear. Fear leads to hatred, and hatred leads to violence. This is why women and minority characters are vital. They expose us to diversity, which leads us to acceptance, understanding, increased creativity, and promotes inclusiveness. It's important that we are introduced to characters like Sophia Bursette of Orange is the New Black, a transgender black woman with a loving heart and fierce determination, or Tyrion Lannister of Game of Thrones, a cunning playboy with dwarfism. When we love a character, it's impossible to hate the people that remind us of them. So my question is, which characters are most important to you?
Hi there, I'm doing this video for the class project on women and minorities in the media. So one of my favorite characters is a character from a Stephen King novel called The Stand, and the character's name is Nick Andros. Nick Andros has two disabilities, actually. He was born as a deaf mute, and he also, later in life, is visually impaired in one of his eyes, and so he has a partial blindness because he can only see out of one of his eyes. I think I really liked that they represented partial blindness in Nick, because you don't normally see partial blindness in the media. You'll either see someone being completely blind and not able to see anything, or they just don't really talk about people who have like partial blindness, and I think it was really cool that they did have that aspect about him. I guess like they think not being fully blind isn't interesting enough, or like these people aren't blind enough for it to, be even a trait that they can pull off of. So I thought that was really cool. That made me feel more represented because I have very bad vision. I have -7 vision. I'm very nearsighted or myopic. So these are my glasses. As you can tell, they bend light a lot. They're very strong. They're pretty thick as well, and I'm wearing contacts right now, but it was cool to see partial blindness in the media because that's something I don't normally see. So, yep, I hope this helped with your project. Alright, bye.
Favorite fictional characters is Mindy Lahiri from the Mindy Project, and I love her because she is a plus-size woman and she's on television and she's killing it. She's confident, she's sexy, she's sure of herself, and it makes me feel like I can put myself out there because, being represented on television is so huge for the plus-size community, and we don't get a lot of that out there, and so having a woman on television who is bigger and who gets the guy and who's sexy and she has such great style and she's so confident in herself, it makes me feel like I can go ahead and live my life and be confident in myself as well.
Two of my favourite fictional characters would be Hermione Granger, obvious, I know, and Cosima from Orphan Black. And these characters are really inspiring for me because they're both very intelligent. Hermione is the top witch of her age, and Cosima is a brilliant scientist. And they're great role models for me in that way because it's kind of a validation that I am allowed to be smart and I'm allowed to be proud of it. And that's why I think they're really inspirational characters.
My favorite character is Willow Rosenberg from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was very important to me to see a lesbian in the media that used to date boys and wasn't mocked or ridiculed or treated differently because of it. It was amazing to see a character that was just like, oh, this is what she does now, and that's cool, and we accept it. It really changed my life.
Hello there. So, my favorite, I guess you'd kind of say like marginalized comic book character is the new Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan. I don't know what that I'm Hindu and she's Muslim, and despite the differences geographically, Pakistani and Indian and the fighting that we have. I mean, I don't really have any prejudice against any Muslims. I love her. You know, she's American and she's Eastern and kind of has these juxtaposition of these two completely different cultures and trying to figure out how to balance that at school. Don't I know it? School. And, you know, just being a teenager, doing the things she loves, hanging out with friends, and saving the world. So, I love her, buy her merch, you know, I just think she's an awesome character. Sorry, this is so long.
I wanted to talk about Callie Torres from Grey's Anatomy. She's a woman of color. She's Latina, and she's also openly bisexual, which is really awesome because there's obviously not a lot of bi representation in media, and I love that she's just so out there with it, especially in the most recent episode. So yeah.